Hi everyone, it's Grimsy, here to go over how to make a Pathfinder 2.0 playtest character. As a little bit of overview before we start, there are three major decisions you need to make, those being your race or ancestry, your class, and your background. First off, let's take a quick look at races. Races, or ancestries as they're called in this edition of Pathfinder, are essentially your character's biological race and or how they were raised. Each ancestry has a list of associated feats, which you will take as you level up in your chosen class, which we'll get to later. The main thing to remember about your ancestry is that even though it will influence your character's play and how you interact with the other players, it doesn't necessarily pigeonhole you into any specific role in the party. You can just as easily have a breezy and gregarious dwarf as you can have a surly and serious gnome. Just like most decisions you're going to be making, you can make things work through role-playing that might not seem intuitive from the raw numbers. One way to do that, which has been refined from the original Pathfinder, is the background system. In original Pathfinder, you could optionally take traits, which were intended to reflect how you were raised or what you've done in the past. In 2.0, you instead choose a background, which gives you both a statistical bonus dependent on which you choose, as well as a narrative framework in which to create your character. I really like this system because it can help both players who are new to RPGs and players who usually simply power build the strongest character they can to explore creating a backstory and establishing their character as a member of the world in which they live. Speaking of living, what is your character going to do as you play them? That is decided by your class. Your class is the largest determining factor of how your character is going to be interacting with the world your GM creates. There are 12 classes so far in this playtest, and each has a unique flavor and defining set of characteristics which, honestly, you'll have to read more about to decide among. That brings us to perhaps the most important part of Pathfinder, both new and old. Do your research. This game is large and complex. There is a huge amount of information you're going to want to read before you make a decision about any of these aspects of your character. I say this not to dissuade you, but simply to inform honestly that this game rewards those who spend their time carefully making the right decisions for them as players. That said, you aren't going to know what's right for you as a player until you try playing, so go down to your local game store and find some fellow nerds to have fun with. Thanks all, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And for those of you sticking around, we're going to start making some characters.
We ready?
Yeah.
All right, I'm here with Ian in the Endgame studio. I have never made a character in Pathfinder, and I'm going to today with the Pathfinder 2 playtest.
All right. So, go ahead and open up your playtest book to page 11.
Okay. I was thinking about, do you have a character in mind to help me make, or do I get to...
Nope, we are doing this entirely based on what you want. I'm just here as a guide.
Dope. Well, I will make the character that I always make in Unfamiliar Systems, which is Sven.
Nice.
I'm going to make a charismatic fighter who is a mercenary but a chill guy.
That sounds lovely. All right, so page 11 is basically just sort of a beginning of the overview of what you're going to be doing. But moving right along to page 12, you're going to find the first thing you're going to want to choose, which is your ancestry. Yeah, just your ancestry. All right,
Okay.
Cool. So, the ancestries you have to choose among are in table 1-1, which is on page 13. So, basically, right now, in this playtest, you have dwarf, elf, gnome, goblin, halfling, human, and half-elf and half-orc are in the human ancestry tree.
Ooh, that's exciting. So, like, you have to be a human and then become a half-orc or
Yeah,
half-elf?
yeah.
Okay, well, I will be a human man.
A human.
Where does that go? Ancestry, up top, right
Yep.
here. I don't know why I volunteered for this, because my handwriting is abysmal.
I know, right?
All right.
All right. So, for that,
And then what happened?
what happens then is you go to page 34.
I am going to move the book each time.
Nice.
So you will know how to make a character in Pathfinder at the end of this, even if you're brain dead.
Uh-huh. All right. So, first off, you have 8 hit points.
Just straight up, every human has 8 hit points?
Well, no, it's their starting value. You add more based on your con, but write down 8 right now.
I
That's
love
important.
that. I want it to be canon that all humans have exactly 8 hit points.
All right, good.
Just like real life. Okay,
It
where's
is
the hit
real
point
life.
box? current hit points?
It's somewhere close to there.
Max hit
It's
points.
max hit points, yeah.
Okay, max hit points is 8. I'm going to
Yep.
put it outside the box because I feel like it's going to change later.
It is going to change later.
All right, what else
find
you
your
got?
size on there.
That would be medium, unless we're doing different kinds of sizes now.
We are not. It is medium.
Oh, it's right up here for
Yep.
the people at home.
Uh-huh.
All caps size, medium.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be in the top right corner on the character name, ancestry, all that thing.
Okay, character name, ancestry, size, M.
Yep.
I remember when I was an M.
Me too.
No longer.
Yeah,
All right,
it wasn't
what we
long. Your speed is 25 feet, and that's going to be right above your max hit points.
Speed, 25 feet.
Yep.
Right above max hit points, so it's going to be right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the speed.
Yep. All right.
Whoa, we got nerfed. We're 25 feet now?
Yep.
Ah, man.
Yeah, we get slower with age.
Okay.
So yeah, now we're going to be getting into ability scores.
Okay.
And all of your ability scores start at 10 in this edition. And it's also worth noting that nothing you can do can get them above 18 in character creation.
Got it.
So, all of them start at 10. Pick 2 that you want to be better at.
Strength and charisma, please.
Okay, go ahead and buff those up to 12.
Is that from being a human?
That is from being a human. You get 2 free ability boosts in any abilities of your choosing.
What's an ability boost?
An ability boost is basically during character creation, you get a +2 to that score based on decisions you make throughout the character creation process. This being
Gotcha.
one of those decisions.
So an ability boost is just a +2?
It's just a +2.
Cool.
It is, once you get to 17 and higher, it's a +1, and you get those through leveling up, but we're not there yet.
Okay, so it's a +2 unless you're 17 or higher. Then it's only a +1 because
Yep.
you can't go higher than 18.
You can go higher than an 18.
What? You just said you couldn't.
Not during character creation, though. Yeah.
So you can get ability boosts outside of character creation?
Yeah, every 5th level, 10th level, 15th level, and 20th level, you also get ability boosts.
Okay, cool. So now we know what an ability boost is and how it works.
Yep.
If you didn't understand it, just rewind and rewatch.
Yeah, it'll work.
We're not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to explain it again.
Languages. You get common as one language, and one other language of your choice.
All right, languages up here. We got the common. Second language, pirate. No, I'm just kidding. Let's get an actual language in here.
Thieves can't
Yo!
is an option.
Thieves can, though.
Yeah.
Thieves can't. The secret language of thieves.
Yep. Technically, you're not really supposed to get that unless you're a rogue, but whatever.
Hey.
If you're building a pirate, it makes sense. So, that said, we're going to go back to page 13 now, no, 14, and move on to, let's see,
Actually,
choosing a background.
So far, things seems like it's not super crazy.
Yeah, the thing with this is less that it's difficult in any one step, but more that there's just a lot of small steps you have to take to make a character.
Okay,
So-
you almost lost me with the ability boost. I was like, this is
Yeah.
a lot of ins and outs.
It's
but
okay, we got there, I think.
I'm still on the train.
Yeah, proud of you. Okay, so now we move on to backgrounds, which is on page 38.
All right. Oh man, there's a lot of these.
Yeah, this is where it gets to be a lot more choices. Yeah, so there are a full 2 pages of backgrounds. Each has about, about a paragraph and a half of text that goes along with them.
Where's it? Found it. Criminal.
Yep. So, yeah, basically what you do for the background is you choose from among these, and they all give you 2 ability boosts, one that you get to choose between 2 different ones, and 1 free one that goes to any ability you want. They also give you a skill feat and training in 1 skill.
Cool.
So that's what you get from each of them. Which specific ones you get are dependent on which you choose.
All right, so I get an ability boost of any kind, and then I get to choose between Dex or Intelligence.
Yep.
But canonically, Sven is fucking stupid, so it will be at Dexterity.
Uh-huh.
Now I have to mark the time because I cursed. 1 second. Okay, cool. So we are going to choose Strength to increase to 14
Okay.
as the free ability boost.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will increase Dex to 12.
You could also choose Sailor as your
as my
chosen
thing.
background.
Well, he's not always a pirate. He just was a pirate that one time.
Okay.
He's a mercenary by trade.
Okay. Seems right. So, that's pretty straightforward. Now, however, we get to the tricky part, which is, for criminal, you gain the experienced smuggler skill feat, and you are trained in the underworld lore skill.
Okay, so lore I already spotted.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to figure out lore.
Yep. Lore, just write underworld next to it.
Underworld.
And in the checkboxes next to it, there's going to be a TEML. You're going to put a check in the T box.
So that's for trained.
Yep.
Then experience, master, and legendary.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's it for that section, but now we're going to
my-
go to the feats so that we can write down what the experienced smuggler skill feat is.
That's under which? Okay, so background skill feat right up here. Experienced smuggler.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to write that down, and then...
Okay, he is currently pulling up the feat to find out what it actually does.
Yep. Here it is on page 165. I'm just going to read it. You often smuggle things past the authorities.
Yep.
When the GM rolls your stealth check to see if a passive observer notices a small item you have
But
concealed...
Ian, what about the game? No, I'm just kidding.
She uses the number number rolled or 10, whichever is higher. If you're a master in stealth, she uses the number rolled or 15, and if you're legendary, you automatically succeed at hiding a small concealed item from a passive observer. This provides no benefits when a creature attempts a perception check while actively searching you for hidden items. Due to your skill at smuggling, you are more likely to find lucrative smuggling tasks when using the underworld lore to practice a trade. So basically what this means is that as long as you're trained in stealth, you can take 10 or what you roll, depending which is better.
Okay, take 10 on smuggling.
Yep. If you are
See, this
legendary, then you take a 15.
Take a 15.
And if you're master, if you're a master, you take a 15. If you're legendary, you just automatically succeed.
See, this is the kind of creative note-taking that the pros use.
Yeah.
Then later, when you're playing the game and everyone's been drinking, you can be like, I just take 10 on smuggling. Whatever that means, I'm smuggling right now.
Yeah.
Just got to find the right dungeon master.
Uh-huh. And the second part of this is that this is more sort of a role play aspect that's going to be worked out with your GM. But so the sentence, due to your skill at smuggling, you're more likely to find lucrative smuggling tasks. That's basically you have connections. You know people, and you're used to talking to people about smuggling.
For those of you who are familiar with narrative games, it's like an aspect from Fate, which I like.
That's true. All right. So now we've read a feat successfully.
All right.
Cool. So now we go back to page 14 to see what comes next, and this is choosing a class. So, the classes you have to choose among are Alchemist, Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Monk, Paladin, Ranger, Rogue, Sorcerer, and Wizard.
My boy Sven is traditionally a fighter.
Nice. So the Fighter page is 86. So let's go there now.
All right. So far, so good. This was not nearly as bad as when somebody walked me through Pathfinder 3.0 or whatever the
Original Pathfinder.
The OG Pathfinder / 3.5.
Yeah.
I like this a lot more already.
Yeah, it's a very
What did you say the page was?
86.
All right.
All right. So, there's some
Bam.
sort of let's see. So there's things about what a fighter is, what they do, all that. But getting into sort of the meat of it, one major thing about being a fighter is they are the only class which gets an attack of opportunity.
What?
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know...
What happened to attack of opportunity?
They turned it into a feat chain, and only fighters can get it, baseline.
Ugh.
Yeah. So they're very strong for that reason. So an attack of opportunity is basically...
Can you imagine if attack of opportunity had just been invented, how
Yeah.
strong it would be?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, sorry.
You're fine. Basically, an attack of opportunity is whenever somebody's doing something fiddly next to you in combat, like trying to, sneak away or play with a magic item or something, you get to hit them.
Okay.
And that is really strong, because people like to do fiddly things in combat. And being able to punish them for it is nice.
Witty stupid.
Mm-hmm. All right. So.
That's the Russian accent is the Sven voice for those of you who haven't figured it out yet.
Uh-huh.
It's the one accent I can do. There's one NPC in every game I run who has a Russian accent.
Yep.
It's like an Easter egg. All right.
Okay. So, off to, on the right side of the page, there's several things. It starts with key ability, hit points, proficiencies, all that. So, your key ability is either strength or dexterity. So go ahead and put a +2, an ability boost in either strength or dexterity.
Strength? How many more ability boosts are we probably looking at?
I think there's something like 8 or 10 ability boosts you get throughout character creation.
Okay, so we'll put it in strength.
I think it's 8.
I'm going to keep it in mind because I do want to get charisma up as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I might use my all-purpose one from the thievery thing for that later.
Yeah. Your hit points are going to be 10 plus your constitution modifier.
So I'm going to do a little plus next to the ones that have had ability boosts.
Uh-huh.
So I know where they are and whether or not I can move them. Okay. So what was the next thing I'm doing? So do I add 10 hit points? Or
yes.
Ooh, so I get
So
8,
you have 18 plus your constitution modifier.
which right now is +0.
Yep. So just 18 for right now.
Okay. So 8 for being a human, 10 for being a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about it.
Yep.
That's already way more hit points than you sometimes start with in other RPGs.
Yeah, they've made the decision in this edition to give you more hit points, but sort of easier to hit. So it's a give and take.
That has been my major gripe with old school 3.5 and 5th edition is that first level characters are kind of unplayable because they have like 3 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Like the game just kind of doesn't work. Everyone I know starts at 3rd level.
Yeah.
And if you're starting your game like 20% of the way in because the first 20% doesn't work, I don't think that's good.
Yeah.
So I like this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good way to do it, honestly. So now, moving on to the skills, you are an expert in perception. So find perception in your skills section and mark both trained and expert in the little boxes next to it.
Right now, somebody is watching me completely fail to find a word on a piece of paper and losing their mind. Oh, God.
Wait, what? It's not even on here. That's why.
Is it somewhere else?
I don't know.
Perception, special senses. It's under senses, under hit points.
Oh, that makes sense.
Does it?
Nope.
All right, expert. So I got that going on.
Mm-hmm.
So what do the trained expert, master, and legendary do?
Basically, they let you attempt or be more likely to succeed at higher level tasks. Like being trained in perception means that you have decent night vision, you're used to standing out, gazing into the night, keeping watch sort of things.
Gotcha.
Being legendary at perception means that you have the eyes of an octopus hawk.
Somebody can be like, how many hats in the room? And you're like, 5.
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of like a narrative permission granting mechanic then.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't even try to pick this lock unless you're a master thief.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
It's more a gating mechanism than a giving you pluses to it.
I'm down with that.
Yeah. Saving throws. You are an expert in fortitude saving throws.
Okay.
You are an expert in reflex saving
Oh
throws.
no, this mechanic applies to saving throws?
Yes.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Alright, so reflex you said I'm an expert in?
Uh-huh. And you are trained in will saving throws.
That's okay. Seems like I got a decent spread. I don't know what everyone else is working with.
Well, so next up we come to skills. You are trained in a number of skills equal to 3 plus your intelligence modifier.
Oh no, maybe I should have increased my intelligence.
Nope.
No, I'm dumb. So 3 plus intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Sven does not lie, but he is good at diplomacy and intimidation, so those are 2, always. Because there are only 2 things that matter in Dungeons & Dragons. Talking to people and kicking ass. Don't let anyone tell you differently. Alright, so I have Underworld Lore, Diplomacy, Intimidation. I get 1 more skill. Gotta go for the Athletics.
Cool. You're trained in all armor and shields, and we'll get to that later. Your signature skills are acrobatics, athletics, and crafting. You get those for free.
So I get to be trained in them for free?
Yep.
Okay, so maybe I will get athletics for free. acrobatics for free, and crafting for free. That gives me one more skill I can learn.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do stealth, because that'll work with that smuggling thing.
It will.
The feat that I have.
Yeah.
And then Sven can now sneak up on people in full plate.
That's nice.
Clink, 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 clink.
All right. So now we get to what is going to be really the meat of character creation throughout the rest of your time playing Pathfinder 2.0.
Y'all ready for this?
And that is choosing feats.
Oh, boy.
So you see, in this edition, they've gone for a really modular setup, which is you get feats based on your class, your background, and your ancestry at various levels.
Oh, okay.
And that's all described in the in each class. It gives you a sort of timeline of when you can expect to get things from your, various aspects of your character.
So class features have been rolled into feats, is what you're telling me?
Pretty much. Class features, race features. You can basically spec into being a different kind of human than somebody else, or a different kind of dwarf.
Just like real life.
Exactly.
All right. That seems pretty interesting
It
from a
is.
design perspective.
Yeah.
Also probably a lot easier for them.
Yeah,
Well-
it makes it, from the ground up, a more expandable system, because a lot of the issue with Pathfinder is that over the years, there's so many, there's so much new material coming out each year that it sort of tends to step on its own toes a little bit. But this builds it from the ground up as there is a set of things that you can choose from. The set can be however big you want, but here's a starting set. We can add to it with time, but it all comes from the same list.
Yeah, just all the features, all the character abilities come from the same pool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like GURPS or Savage Worlds.
Yeah.
In that there's
Yeah.
just a sort of toolbox that you pull from.
Uh-huh.
All right.
So,
Just as a quick aside, where do spells fall in that? Are they their own subsystem?
yeah, spells are a different system entirely. They're admittedly very complicated. Well, not terribly complicated. They've simplified a lot from original Pathfinder, but it is it's a completely separate system, which probably we're going to have an individual video on.
Okay, if you know how spells work in 5th edition.
If you know how it works in 5th edition or Pathfinder or really any D20 system, you'll be able to get the grasp of it pretty quickly.
Okay, cool. So it's your Vancian casting with maybe a little twist on it.
Pretty much.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Back to the fighter. This
Yeah.
is why I play martial classes, people.
Yeah.
All right.
So, you choose a feat at first level.
Oh, boy.
So, if you're going to go to page 89, you will find the list of feats among which you can choose.
This is where it helps to have a strong character concept before you start making stuff.
Yeah.
Mmm.
So, for those of you who can't quite read on the thing, the choices you have are Combat Grab, Double Slice, Furious Focus, Point Blank Shot, Power Attack, Reactive Shield, and Sudden Charge.
So it's just straight up one page of first level fighter feats. Look
Yep.
at that. That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, combat grab leaks out at me, but let's see what else
Mm-hmm.
we got. Okay. Interesting. All right, so I just read something that makes me ask a lot of questions.
Okay.
Furious Focus. Make a strike. The strike gains the following failure effect. This attack does not count toward your multiple attack penalty.
Okay. You're right. There's a lot of things in there that we should probably go over.
I feel like that implies a lot of interesting stuff that I'm now excited to learn about.
Yeah. So, first off, make a strike. A strike is a basic attack.
Hiya!
Okay. Yeah. So in this edition, you can make up to 3 attacks per turn. At any level.
Whenever,
Yeah.
whoever.
Yeah. But if you... Well, no. Regardless of whether you hit, for most classes, you take a -5 to your second hit and a -10 to your third.
Okay, so it's like the old multi-attack,
Yeah.
but you just have it.
Yeah. Everybody has it, and everybody can do it. But if you take Furious Focus, if you miss your first hit, it doesn't count towards that. So if you
Interesting.
miss, it doesn't make it harder to hit a second time.
And I also noticed when I was looking at Pathfinder a little bit, there's like a multiple action system.
Mm-hmm.
So you get like 3 actions a turn.
Yeah.
Are you spending all 3 to make your 3 attacks with a -5 and a -10?
No, so this, this comes from, see the little box next to it, Attack, Fighter, Press?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So what that is basically there are 3 different sorts of actions you can make. those being movement, a standard action, or, just a thing that you do that, is sort of, what you're doing on your turn. And then a minor action, which is sort of some small thing you do on the side.
Okay.
So the attack action is a standard action. So it takes up, the bulk of what you're doing with your turn, aside from moving.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. We are standing on the precipice of a very deep pool
Yes.
of questions about how Pathfinder works, and we're just here to make a character. So we're going to slowly back away from the pool.
I think that's smart because we'll have another video for going over all the terminology and everything, but just for the sake of creating a character, I think we're all right for now.
All right, so we're going to go with Furious Focus because that seems simple enough.
Sure.
Can make multiple attacks without penalty.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put that in my feats. We're just going to be under class feats.
Mm-hmm.
First level. Furious Focus. All right, I get, what, 2 more?
No, you just get 1 feat.
1 feat for being a fighter.
Yep.
Got it.
Now, however, it's occurring to me that I forgot something, which is your ancestry feat.
Oh, boy.
But it's okay. The book caught me because in the table it says the first thing you choose, ancestry feat.
Don't forget
So
your
you're
ancestry
reminded at
feat.
various points along the way things that you might have forgotten before. So if you go to page 36.
See, this is the kind of copy editing and togetherness that you get after a couple decades of experience.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm over here with my indie RPGs that were written by somebody in their basement.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even have an index. All right.
So, at first level, you gain an ancestry feat. There are, let's see, a lot of ancestry feats.
Oh, okay. Remember earlier when we were talking about half orcs and half elves?
Mm-hmm.
You can take half orc as a feat, as a human feat. All right.
So, the ones that you can choose if you're not going to be a half-orc are Adapted Spell, Clever Improviser, Cooperative Nature, General Training, Haughty Obstinacy, Natural Ambition, Skilled, and Unconventional Weaponry.
See, if unconventional weaponry says I just learn a crazy weapon like a bullwhip or a drow boomerang or something, if it was I can use bar stools or whatever without penalty, I would take that one without thinking about it.
It's a different feat. It still exists, but it's not something you can get baseline.
Okay. All right. So, I think I'm going to go with Clever Improviser, which just gives me a +1 to skill checks that I'm not trained in, which seems hilarious to me.
Pretty good, yeah.
All right, so that's my ancestry feat.
Mm-hmm.
Clever Improviser. Sven has been around. I can usually figure things out. Everyone is stupid except Sven.
Yeah.
Spoilers, it's actually Sven that's dumb. All right.
Okay, so
Where are we at now?
one sec. Now where we're at is choose 4 free ability boosts. They can't be any of them in the same one.
Okay. So I will do Charisma. And then I will move one of my old ability boosts to Charisma to have it be up to 16.
Mm-hmm.
So that I can put one in Strength and keep it at 16. And then I got 2 more, so I'll do 1 in Wisdom and then 1 in Constitution.
Nice.
So that'll give me 2 more hit points.
Mm-hmm.
Because you add your Constitution modifier, I assume retroactively if it increases.
Yes.
All right. I'm still dumb and imperceptive, which is part of the character concept. Gotta maintain that.
No, you put 1 in Wisdom. That's
Damn,
a 12.
You're right. I'm mildly perceptive. It's unavoidable. I'll take that over being smart, though. All right, so I'm putting everything in the wrong boxes here. 1 second. So you got the +1, the +3, +1, +0, +1. This is a well-rounded Sven. A little bit. Usually I have more over here, less over here, but that's all right. All right, now what?
Now what you do is you figure out your skill modifiers.
Okay. So we're done with ability scores now, right?
Yes.
Sweet. Okay. So, all the trained stuff doesn't affect the numbers at all.
Not as I understand it.
Okay. So what is the proficiency box then?
Well, let's go to skills and find out.
Okay. It's kind of amazing that this is the first speed bump that we've hit in this entire process.
Yeah.
I think it speaks to the usability of Pathfinder and also the preparation of this man. Look at him go.
I read a book once.
Yeah.
All right. So, basically, yeah. So, table 4.1 on page 143 is going to explain basically what the skills are, their key ability, and what you can use them for, both trained and untrained. So remember how being trained in something is more a gating mechanism than giving you pluses and things?
Uh-huh.
So there are untrained uses for various skills, but the trained uses are things that are more difficult to do, less intuitive, and more fancier.
What is the proficient? So what is proficiency then? Where does that come from?
Proficiency is just being trained.
Okay. So this box that says proficiency, I don't put a number in it, or...
Oh, if you're trained in something, you add your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so what is my proficiency bonus?
That I don't remember, so let's look it up.
Is it under fighter?
It might be. Which is back here.
Alright, you guys can see that I'm a dirty cheater. I'm just putting whatever modifiers I want in here. Okay. So I'm going to be a very sad Sven if I have training in lore underworld, but actually no ability to roll better than what the D20 says.
Alright,
let's see what the index is. Oh, you got it?
Nope.
P-O-P-R. There's nothing here, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, actually, what I'm remembering is that...
Oh.
Oh, whoops. Oh, God.
Okay, so we're going to figure out proficiencies and fix this camera. We'll be right back.
Yep.
Okay, so we have solved the mystery of whether or not you get bonuses for being trained in something. You do not, correct?
You don't get bonuses for being trained. You get minuses for being untrained, and you get slight bonuses for being even better. Like being an expert gets you +1, being a master gets you +2, and being legendary gets you +3.
Excellent.
Being untrained gets you a -4 in a skill.
Damn.
Though.
So I am trained in lore underworld with a +0.
Yes.
So Sven, there's a 50-50 shot if he knows what he's talking about, which sounds right.
It does.
Excellent.
Yep. So, where were we? We were at...
Doing skills.
Yeah, skills.
Calculating the things.
Mm-hmm.
I have actually, if there's no item bonuses and it's just the modifier, then I am done. I have everything I need.
Mm-hmm.
So super important, just to recap. You get a -4 if you're untrained.
Yes.
You get a +0 if you're trained, and
Yes.
you can attempt to do certain things that an untrained person would not. Expert is a +1, Master is a +2, and Legendary is a +3.
Yes.
And those are the only bonuses.
Yes.
All right. So now you know how proficiencies work.
Also, that's plus your level, though.
Plus
you always
your
add your level to things that you're proficient in.
That you're trained. If you have any of these boxes ticked, you add your level to the skill. Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, these are slightly higher.
Yep.
Gotta get that plus percentage. Plus 5% chance of success.
Feels good. All right, now we're on to buying equipment. And that...
And also, for the sake of posterity, is the proficiency explanation we just laid out anywhere in the book?
So, I've read this book a number of times now. Literally, the first place I found it was in the index entry for proficiency.
Okay.
It is not in the skills main section that I saw.
All right. So
I might just be terrible at reading, but if you need to find proficiency, look it up in the index.
Okay. Keep an eye out for that. But it is in the book.
It is in the book somewhere.
Okay.
So, now we're going to move on to equipment.
Yo.
So, money in this has actually been scaled down a little bit, but that's not really important for character creation. Just know that, what you get is what you get.
Yeah, is there like a sweet pre-packaged equipment thing I could pick up?
Not really. Or there is for, like, random other items, but...
Just as a quick aside, check out these stone giants. Yo! The art in this book is legit.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the guy who does that? This Pathfinder has a very specific art style that has always been really good. Alright, so we're looking for items right now.
Yeah. So we're going to start with what you're wearing and what you're hitting people with.
Okay.
So, there's a couple important things about equipment in Pathfinder 2.0. The most important change is that they've moved away from direct weights and are going now to a system of bulk. So bulk is basically just an essentially arbitrary number that they assign to various things based on how difficult they think they are to carry.
Box says bulk. Well, you can't see it because it's not focusing, but that box says bulk.
Yeah. And you can carry an amount of bulk equal to 5 plus your strength modifier without penalty.
So it says that
if you carry more, you become encumbered. If you hold more bulk than 10, you can't hold or carry more bulk than 10 plus your strength.
So I can carry 8 bulk.
Yes, comfortably.
Cool.
Yep. So,
So a bulk is like an arbitrary unit of measurement.
Yeah.
And a normal person can carry 5 of it.
Yes.
Without becoming very sweaty.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
I like it so far.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now we're going to pick armor for Sven. Do you want to wear light, medium, heavy, or no armor at all?
Well, I'm proficient in all of them, so I guess I will take... What's my dexterity? +1? I'll take heavy armor, please.
Cool. So, how armor class works in this is there is an armor class and a touch armor class, and they're going to be different values dependent on which armor you have and which what your dexterity score is.
All right.
So the heavy armors you have to choose among are splint mail and half plate.
All right, I'll take the half plate.
Cool. So that gives you an armor class bonus of +5.
Okay.
And a touch armor class bonus of +2.
Armor class item +5, +2. Wow. Okay.
And you get +1 for the dexterity modifier cap is +2 for half plate.
Oh, wow.
So you have a total of 16 armor class and 13 touch armor class.
All right, riddle me this. I am proficient in this armor. Does that mean I add my level to my armor class?
No.
Okay. These are the gotcha questions. That's why I'm here.
Maybe.
Dino na. Brino na. Got him. I added a sound effect in post for that.
That was nice.
All right, so now we're trying to figure out whether or not you add your level as proficiency to your armor class. This character sheet would seem to indicate that you do, because it has proficiency.
Yeah, I think you do.
Right there.
Yeah.
All right.
So you go ahead and slap 1 into both of those.
Dope. So I have 17 armors, and my touch armor is 14.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Cool.
I feel safe.
Yeah. Also, you have a check penalty to any strength, dexterity, or constitution-based skill checks, except for those that have the attack trait.
Okay.
So, basically, running is harder, swimming is harder.
Sounds right.
Sneaking is harder, stuff like that.
Clink, clink, clink.
Yeah.
What does the check penalty entail?
It's dependent on which armor. It's one of the numbers in the armor table. So for half plate, your check penalty is -4.
Whew. So I'm just not going to be sneaking in half plate. It's just not happening.
Pretty much.
All right.
And it has a bulk of 3. So go ahead and mark that down.
All right. So I'm going to mark down 3 bulk. It's a pretty efficient system there.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm going to mark it out right now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the lines right there. That's how much bulk I can carry.
And you have a speed penalty of -10 feet. You
Wow.
go 10 feet slower.
Okay, so my current speed is 15.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
But try and fucking hit me.
Yeah. Yeah, so do you want a shield?
Do they have bucklers in this game?
They have light shields.
Is that the kind where you can still grab stuff with your hand?
I don't believe so.
Because I
Let's
found
check.
in my adventuring career that having a free hand, especially when you're a dynamic class like a fighter, super useful. You can open doors, you can activate traps, you can take stuff from people. All right, riddle me this. What is the bulk on a light shield?
It is light for a light shield and 1 for... So light is basically 1/10 of a bulk.
Okay.
And a heavy shield is 1 bulk.
Okay. I will take a light shield then.
Cool. It doesn't let you use your hands, though.
I will pass on the light shield then.
Okay.
The hand is for holding torches, throwing ropes, grabbing people. That
You
sort of
could
thing.
get one as an emergency thing. And just carry it around with
Just
you.
in case. Sure.
It's only light bulk.
Yeah.
Cool. So, now that we've done that, we can go ahead and move on to weapons. What weapon do you want? There's a whole bunch to choose from.
I would like a sword, please.
What flavor sword?
Bastard.
Okay. So a bastard sword is 35 silver pieces and deals 1d8 piercing damage. It is 1 bulk, occupies 1 hand, is in the sword group, and if you wield it with 2 hands, it's instead a d12 damage.
Sold.
So yeah, actually going shieldless with a bastard sword is
It's nice.
very nice.
Have one hand free, or you can just shrug on people.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was easy. Do you want any other weapons?
I have half plate. I have sword. Emergency backup shield, which might be cartwheel. We don't know. I think I'm ready to party.
All right.
What else we need?
From here on out, it's basically just choosing other random pieces of equipment that you feel you should have. Common ones include a backpack, a bedroll, a 10-foot pole, things like that.
Okay. Is there a let's calculate attack rolls and damage rolls just so that people know how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for your attacks, it is... There we go. There's a melee strikes section. So you write the name of it next to it. You write the total that you're going to be adding to your die immediately next to the die.
Bastard sword.
So you add your ability bonus, which is strength for this.
Uh-huh.
You put that in the ability section. You add your proficiency bonus, which, since you're trained in this, is...
Just +1, right?
Yep. +1 for your level.
Yep.
And the item bonus, you don't have one because...
That's just for magic items?
Magic items or master-crafted items.
Cool.
Which you don't yet have.
So we got the +4 to hit.
Yep.
Then damage is either a D8 or a D12, depending.
Mm-hmm.
And that's plus strength.
Yes.
+3. And we can throw some traits on there if we really wanted to.
Yep.
All right. So I got my sword. I know how to use it. I got all my character traits and backstory stuff.
So.
Got my feats. What else we need?
The last thing that you can choose, and I personally like to make this optional, but it's up to your GM. Pick an alignment and a god.
No god, lawful neutral.
Cool.
That is how we do it.
Yep.
Because Sven, despite his chaotic nature, is a man of his word. All right. Age, question mark, gender, yes. Name, Sven.
All right.
Done.
Yeah, you have successfully made a Pathfinder character.
Pathfinder character sheet. Good to go.
Yep.
And that's how you do it. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking in. Hope that was helpful. Hit us up with some feedback. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. I'm going to put some of the information that we covered here in there as well. See you guys on the flip side.
Bye now.